Just use you at first, and we continue to do so. The first movie that I took my son Austin to was at the Astra, the movie 101 Dalmatians. It was 1996. He was 31 months old. This memory of our first father-son matinee returned when I recently toured the Astra. The theater closed in 2002, and while it wasn't the last picture show in our town, it was the last of the old-timey movie houses to fade from view due to modern multiplex cinema glow. A similar thing happened in Tell City, my hometown. Opened in 1948, my beloved Swiss theater never had a chance once the 1978 movie Superman flew across the twin screens of a newly opened cinema. Eventually, the Swiss was chopped down to a radiator shop, the smell of buttered popcorn replaced with an antifreeze aroma. No movie ending has proven as sad to me as my cherished movie house's ending. I felt bad for the old man who ran the Swiss. I saw him on most weekends of my adolescence. He had the slumped look of the man that time forgot. One of my last times in his lobby, I told him I would always patronize the Swiss, not its soul-sucking cinema rival. I was 14. I was a young liar. Of course, I saw Superman. I returned to the Swiss a few times afterwards, feeling guilty, a theater cheater. I could tell that he could tell that I had sold my soul to the new Dolby sound system. Cinema's pretty awesome, by the way. Taking my son to his first movie at the Astra was a big deal. Strategically, we went to the 4:15 showing. I assumed it wouldn't be crowded since it was so close to supper time. I guess the 150 or so other parents ahead of us in line had assumed the same. The spotted dogs were a success. In his terrible twos, Austin proved challenging in the slow-moving ticket line. I bribed him with sweet promises of tooth decay, Coke, Mellow Yellow, Zero, Junior Mints, Reese's Pieces, Dad's root beer, at each onset of impatience. Once inside, we joined the mob in the tiny refreshment area. Impatient parents, shoulder to shoulder, connected to toddlers, grumbled throughout their seemingly impossible missions to fulfill gummy bear promises before the movie started. It was hard to be aggressive with an agitated Austin in one numb arm, a diaper bag in the other, and a blankie wrapped around my throat like a ticked-off pink boa constrictor. Behind us, the previews sounded. The mob moaned. "Daddy, I pooped," confessed Austin, loud enough for everyone to hear. "No, you didn't," I said. Wishful thinking. "I sure did," he said. The nearest nodded their heads, agreeing with Austin. This thinned the crowd some, allowing us to get closer to the counter. Pooping had, for some reason, made Austin decide on Milk Duds. I couldn't wait to share the magic of cinema with my firstborn. When Pongo pulled the covers off the sleeping Jeff Daniels character, Austin giggled. He shouted, "Run, Pongo, run," at one point. He laughed hysterically when Pongo pulled Jeff Daniels and his bike into a pond. Austin sipped orange slice, smiled, and said, "I love the movie, Dad." I almost cried. Patiently, the Astra, movieless for 14 years now, still stands, though it reminds me of the slumped Swiss theater owner. Its marquee still advertises its longest-running title, "For Sale." Its fate is still uncertain. What is certain are the fond memories that generations here still recall and share any time its name is spoken. Astra, recited like a magic word to a magic spell in some old, clicking, pockmarked, reel-to-reel movie. It cast its spell during a recent meeting at the Dubois County Community Foundation, designed to generate ideas on the building's future. Two businessmen recalled seeing Ben-Hur at the Astra in 1959. School even let out to allow students to attend the Catholic-themed box office hit. On Facebook, other Astra memories were recalled. Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, Tommy, Jaws, Dances with Wolves, A League of Their Own, Hoosiers, A Lion King, Good Burger, whatever. Titanic rose to the surface the most. Two examples. said Andrea Hedinger, we ended up getting some of the last tickets for the night. We, of course, all developed a realistic interpretation of how you should fall in love from the very back row of the Astra, thanks to Rose and Jack. Commented Jesse Folker. The Astra could not have been more alive that night. People of all ages, on dates and groups, solo, occupied every ounce of breathing room within the walls of that small but magical theater. Even as a green little 8th grader, I remember relishing the energy of that complete movie viewing experience during Titanic. Nothing could please me more than to see the Astra restored to its former glory, if not as a movie theater for newly released blockbusters, perhaps for movie classics, or maybe even a music venue. Either way, added Jesse, that historical space needs to be revitalized. Darlene Ofer at work told me about crying when she saw Old Yeller here. Chris Cassidy still recalls Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster with his older brother in the early 70s. Astra owner Jerry Gutzweiler told me about the one and only time he actually turned off the projector during a movie in order to read the riot act to a theater full of unruly teens. The movie, 1971's The Abominable Dr. Five, starring Vincent Price. We are full of ideas on how to revive our beloved Astra. Some in our arts community cheekily tagline this ideation movement, Save Our Astra. But it takes, thank you. Wasn't mine though. But it takes more than ideas and good intentions. Like an age actor on set, the Astra patiently awaits its next scene, listens for that one-worded directive that sparks all the magic it was brought into existence to gift us. Action. Until action is taken, it stands empty on our town square as its own end credits tiresomely roll. Thank you. Thank you, Jerry, for letting us